Hello there. Currently lucky enough to be at Chateau Trotte Vieille in Saintemilion, and I'm looking at their second wine, the Dame de Trotte Vieille. And Trotte Vieille, a Primeur Grand Cru Classe Class B, an estate with a particularly high amount of Cabernet Franc planted in their vineyards. This wine reflects that with 57% of Cabernet Franc in its final blend. And the reason I wanted to talk about ladamedetrottevieille is that it's the estate's second wine, and it's a wine that I often find offers some really fabulous value for money. And particularly the 2025 vintage that I'm looking at here has some fabulous aromas to the extent that you can actually smell them from quite a distance away. And as the second wine, a wine created from barrels or lots of wine that haven't made their way into the first wine, the fruit on this wine is perhaps slightly less concentrated. And as a result, at this stage in its evolution, it's showing much more open perfume. The aromas are a really fantastic display of ripe damson fruit. There are perhaps some tiny hints of well-integrated cedary spice in there. But really, it is that black, plummy fruit that's dominating those aromas. Taking a look at the wine's colour, it's deep, it's reasonably dark, it's not quite opaque. The wine is listed as being 13.5% alcohol, and swirling it, it's quite readily forming tears on the side of the glass there. So let's have a taste, shall we? The lovely, ripe, precise damson fruit is showing itself beautifully on the palate here. There are some very fine tannins, and perhaps there are underlying hints of cedar and vanilla, but they're beautifully integrated. There are some perfume top notes to the wine, almost hints of violets. There's something quite floral about them. And all this perfume is being lifted by some good, fresh, clean acidity. So what is this wine showing about the 2025 vintage? I think it's helping show quite how concentrated the fruit is. This was a warm and dry vintage. So you ended up with smaller bunches, smaller berries that are giving this lovely concentration and a beautiful supple structure. Although there is grip in the tannins, that grip is neither bitter nor astringent. There's an almost sort of chocolatey smoothness to the finish that's very attractive. This is a wine that I expect should be very well priced, and thus I will leave a link in the notes below to the winesearcher webpage for this vintage of this wine, so that when the prices are released, you'll be able to see how much it costs and where it's available. The wine is approachable, it's enjoyable, it has lovely structure, and it's lasting very well. As far as scoring the wine, I think this is a wine that scores at least 91 out of 100, possibly 92. The acidity is so lovely and fresh, and the concentration of the wine is such that I'm absolutely convinced this is a wine that would happily age for another 10 years and develop some really beautiful secondary aromas to complement the lovely fruit that's there at the moment. So thank you so much for watching. I do hope you found the tasting of interest. I'm going to be in Bordeaux for another couple of weeks now, and so hopefully there'll be plenty more of these tastings to watch. So do please consider signing up to our channel, and that way you can set yourself an alert and you can be notified whenever we publish a new tasting. It would also be great if you could press the like button for us. So thank you once again for taking the time to join me, and I do hope that maybe we'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.